Hi, Ayushmann. Hi, Andrea. How are you?
Hi, Nidhi, we are good.
Awesome. It's such a pleasure to have you both on Popcorn Pixel and that too to chat about a very special film with a unique subject, Anek. I was preparing for this interview, and usually what I do is I kind of keep watching the trailer to basically help me dig deeper into what the crux of the film is, etc. And I have to be very candid and very honest. I was kind of speechless and dumbfounded because I suddenly had a realization that I'm very ignorant on this subject. So, very candidly, I want to begin with the two of you. What is the crux and what is the core of an egg? We can start with either one of you.
I think it's a very important film because a film like this has never been done before. I think something as basic as when I was growing up in Nagaland, I never really saw anyone that looked like me or someone from the northeastern region have any major roles in Bollywood or any industry for that matter. There's a lot of underrepresentation and misrepresentation. So I think the film deals with that beautifully. The fact that, of course, casting the right people, like from the right regions for that matter, and also it deals with things like discrimination and insurgency, but of course, using that the Northeast as just the backdrop. These kind of films are prevalent anywhere because racism is a disease that is everywhere, and I think it's a very relatable film, and it has a very strong message, and I hope that people manage to see what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, and Andrea, I think that's a great point that you brought up because this is kind of close to your own personal life. Like you've experienced this. Ayushman, were you aware of this issue and the politics around it before you began filming this?
I was aware of the issue, but not politics around it. Because when I was in college, I had friends from Northeast, and they used to tell me about their horror stories, the experiences they had when they used to come and stay anywhere in other parts of the country apart from Northeast. So it was there. That was my induction towards this racial slurs or abuse which they faced back in the day in college, but it still exists even in 2022, which is very unfortunate. So it was the first hand experience for me more than anything else.
So, as I mentioned earlier, when I watched the trailer and I was trying to, dig deeper into it and be like, I don't want to keep asking the same generic questions because I know you guys must be tired of answering those questions. And that's something that if I already know the answer to, I don't want to know. I don't want to keep repeating the question. So we did something new this time around, and we went to the Popcorn Pixel community and asked the people to share any burning questions that they would have, because essentially I want them to also be a part of this. So one of the community members by the name Nikhil, who lives in Manchester, has a question for the two of you. He asked, what do you hope to be the reaction to the film? That's one part. And the second part is, do you think it can be a catalyst for change in India with regard to the attitude towards the Northeast?
Yeah, I mean, our main hope is that people find it educating more than anything. And we hope that it kind of instills a sense of want to learn of the issues regarding the northeastern region in places that, in other regions. And also to kind of sensitize themselves, towards not just Northeast, but other minor communities. I think that's really important. And yeah, I mean, I think, the fact that this step has been taken, to make a film on this topic is such a big step, and I hope it creates legway for much bigger things in the future.
Nidhi, you started this interview by saying that you were unaware of the situation. So that says a lot. It's the uncharted territory. As far as Hindi cinema is concerned, definitely we've never shown Northeast, even the mainstream media. It's been ignoring Northeast issues since time immemorial. So this is first of first, and I really believe it's going to be historic because it has the right kind of representation. Andrea and other actors who are from the region. In the past, we've only seen people from Northeast as side characters or just part of the crew. This is the first time they're getting the opportunity to say their story, and it's incredible. I think Indian cinema has aged well with Anek, and if it spreads the message of inclusivity, then I think it will be a big victory for the film.
Awesome. I'm really looking forward to it, but I can't help but think about the repercussions it might have, or like the debate it might ignite, given the political climate in India, unfortunately. Is that something that the team has thought of? And like, is it prepared to manage that as well if something happens?
India has always been like that. Our biggest strength and biggest weakness is the diversity that we have. And it's not just right now, as I said, racism and this issue has been there since I was in college, and it still exists. So nothing has changed. It doesn't really matter uh, who's there in the power. It was always there, it always existed. But I think it's just that this is the time of progressive cinema. Cinema has changed. I believe in cinema for change, and there has to be a certain social responsibility. Every artist should have that. And I'm glad I've collaborated with Anubhav Sinha, and he has a certain voice as a director, and he's made a very credible film.
I want to share something because I think being judged or being unwelcomed is not just only racial, because I grew up in the Middle East and I moved to India only for like about 7 years before I moved to London. The reason why I did that is because I've always been outside of India. I've always been like the typical NRI, like going to India only over the summers, spending time at Nani's house, stuff like that. When I finally decided that I wanted to move to India, it's because I didn't want anyone to question my citizenship or basically be like, oh, you're not allowed to live in this country just because your passport doesn't allow. And that's why I moved to India a few years ago. But even then, I always felt like an outsider, and it was very, very hurtful. I'm not going to lie, because it's like, oh, tu to bahar se aayi hai, because I speak English in an accent. Or even though my Hindi is like very short when I speak to them, but they're like, nahi, nahi, tu to bahar se hai, like you don't belong here. Even in the workspace, it was always like, you bring a different kind of professionalism. So I think the feeling of being an outsider in your own country is an awful feeling. And I welcome this change in cinema as well, because I think it's not just limited to race, it's beyond that. So I think this is a great move, and cinema is doing great things.
Nidhi, you've shared a great anecdote. I think from your personal experience, it's a great anecdote because you always everywhere feel like an outsider. Like every NRI feels like an outsider in India, abroad. So they become more like global citizens, but they don't belong anywhere. So it's I know what the conflict goes through. You guys go through.
Yeah, and it's like, where is home? What is home at the end of the day? Because where am I most welcomed at? But I would like to move to a lighter note and do a fiery popcorn round, which is basically a rapid fire, but on Popcorn Pixel. Are you guys ready? So the first word that comes to your mind when I say the following, Andrea, we'll start with you, and then we'll just do one each, yeah? The Hindi language debate.
It's difficult.
Ayushmann, Northeast India.
Progressive. I'll give you an explanation. I know it's a one-word answer, but
no, go for it.
It's matriarchal. Like in Nagaland, for example, they carry forward their mother's name, right? You don't? That's in Meghalaya. Yeah, sorry. In Meghalaya, they carry forward their mother's name. So it's very progressive. And most of the people, I think most of the shopkeepers in Meghalaya, they were women. That you don't see that in any other part of the country.
Well put. Andrea, what do you have to say about Bollywood?
Exciting.
Besides the script, what is this one other thing that you look for before you say yes to a film?
That it should be the first attempt in Hindi cinema.
The next question is for both of you. Andrea, we'll start with you. One thing you wish people knew about you, which they don't.
A lot of things. Wait,
every other person.
That I am true crime nerd.
Oh, nice. Which is your favorite true crime story?
Oh my God, there's so many, like John and Wayne Gacy and like, the toy box killer. Oh my God, I'm gonna get kicked out of here if I go on. So
nice. Ayushmann, what about you?
One thing that you don't know about me?
Yes.
I think it's been 10 years in the industry. You know everything about me.
That's why I asked the question. Is there still
invalid for me? I am an introvert.
Oh, okay. The next few questions you
can
agree,
answer.
I think I agree, and I think there are a lot of.
In my heart, I know I'm an introvert.
A lot of artists are. I've come to a realization that a lot of artists are actually introvert, and the performance is sort of like a mechanism to, like explore that side of you, right? Yeah. See, I get you. Okay, the next few you can answer in a sentence, doesn't have to be a word. Ayushmann, what are your 5 Anek goals for the next 5 years?
I don't plan my life like that. It's just one film at a time, one day at a time. I have no goal. I just want to just satiate my creative soul, make more music apart from films also, and write more and live a happy life and a balanced life.
I think it would be to travel more,
Mm.
to meet Timothy Chalamet, to meet BTS,
Oh, BTS?
yeah, to learn how to swim also, to learn how to swim
Oh.
and to hug a koala bear.
Oh, you have to go to Australia for that.
Yeah, I know.
I've hugged one. It's adorable. They smell of eucalyptus like all the
Oh,
time.
do they? I love eucalyptus. Like
Yeah.
I always have picks on my nose. It's like constantly. So that's perfect.
Before I end it, if anyone out there is not convinced about Anek yet, any words of wisdom for them?
I think those people really need to watch Anek. People who are not convinced to watch Anek because it's something you really need to watch. Because after watching the trailer, if there's no empathy in you, or maybe if there's no question in your head that what does it take to be an Indian or a good human being, um, then I think you should try to be more empathetic. How you come out a better human being.
Awesome. That was fabulous. Thank you so much. And I'm really looking forward to watching Anek because, as I said, feeling unwelcomed or feeling discriminated against in whatever capacity is never a good feeling. And I think this is a great progressive step for cinema in general. So congratulations to the two of you. And I really look forward to watching it.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Nidhi. Thank you so much. Hi, this is Ayushmann Khurrana.
And this is Andrea Kevichusa.
If you like this video, please subscribe to Popcorn Pixel.
For more popping conversations.